So, when we were talking about, people from different fields working in the sports industry, you have bachelor's in political science. So,
Correct.
did you play sports before this, or like what inspired you to take masters in sports? Because the fields are completely different. So,
True,
what
true.
inspired you to take masters in sports management?
So I was in my school hockey team, to be very honest. And I mean, I'm a very big Chuck Day fan also. So like I wanted to pursue something in sports, but I mean, it did not happen because, in 12th, your mom gives you an option. Either you have to give boards or you have to do your extracurricular activity. I was both active in sports and dance. So, I mean, it's not a choice, honestly. It's just if your parents have said it, you have to do it. Not that they haven't been supportive, of course, but they were also looking out for me to get a better college. And I took, a decision where I will leave sports in 12. And then also, like, I did Pol Science honors from Gargi in DU. And over there also that we had like our society, how you have societies in your colleges. Sports society was there, but once you leave it and once you play with a particular team from so many years, and then you come to a new place, I mean, it gets very difficult to go back to it and stuff like that. So I never looked back, to be honest. I was like, okay, let's do Pol Science because I come from a law background, like my family is into law and all. So I thought that, okay, I'll also do law and stuff. And then, like, right after my Pol Science ended, right after I graduated, I did digital marketing for 1 year. And I mean, 6, 7 months, 1 year. And that's when I realized that, okay, I mean, I don't think so. I'm meant for a desk job, or I'm not demeaning that job, but it's just that it's not meant for me because I'm more of a creative person, a creative thinker. I can't just do a desk job. I want to be out there, be out in the field. And the first thought that came to my mind was event management. I'm not gonna lie. And I did my research, and then it made me realize that okay, event management is good, but I mean, what is the difference between an individual growth and like a team growing? I mean, these are two different things. And that's when I realized that I have to do something more niche, more creative. And I did my R&D, and somehow I landed up on sports management. And then I started giving my entrance, and then it landed me to IISM. I mean, of course, I cleared all five entrances, not that I'm bragging. But I mean, IISM was the best choice out of all because I mean, the big aspect coming from DU, it is affiliated with Mumbai University. It was like a big go to for me. And it was, I had my list. Like, whenever I choose something, I make a pros cons list. And it was something that, okay, it was fitting into all the things that I wanted to do. ISM was offering everything I wanted to do. So that is when, I decided that, okay, let's do sports management. I mean, it took me a month to convince my parents, but I mean, they're happy now. So, yeah.
Thank you. So, you said that you wanted to do event management. That's the first thing that came to your mind. So, Ayush sure has asked a question saying, what is the difference between event management and sports management?
I mean, firstly, when I came to the college, I felt a lot of people should have gone to an event management college. But later, I'm so glad that after doing these events, and in me as well, I'm counting myself in that, people got to know that how a sports management, I mean, how a sports event is different from a normal event. Of course, people like to be a part of an event. It's a big event. You want to plan, you want to execute, you want to be a part of it, and you want to also enjoy that okay, some celebrities coming, some athlete is coming, someone is coming. But to be very honest, event management is very, very, very different because sports ka kya hai, you know what is happening. You google what the calendar year is, IPL is coming, World Cup is coming, where is India touring, who's coming to India, where are the other teams playing. So I mean, it's a very, very different field. I'm not saying that okay, if you've done event management you can't do sports. You can definitely do. I mean, if you have done event management and you want to come into the sports events, you can do it. But sports is very different altogether in terms of, firstly, in an event like sports, discipline and that security is must because, okay, you go to a normal fest like a college fest. There are so many people. There's a stampede. It's very difficult to control. But in a sports thing, you have to be very, because you can't let anyone go to the field, right? There's a fine, there are rules, there's everything set. In a sports fest, if you break the rule, nobody cares. They'll just throw you out, that's it. But So you have to just go inside the nitty gritties, that what is, I mean, I don't think this is a small difference that any of you would have noticed at that point of time, which I noticed when I went for my first, event. When I was there for my first event, it was like, I think it was in my first year, and ISM got this opportunity for us. It was the launch of the symbol of women's FIFA World Cup under 17, and we went to I think Taj in South Bombay. We went to Taj, and there was this entire event where I got to learn so many things. And I have done like a normal event also, and in a normal event there are not so many things, because over there you have your department heads, and what they do is they pick up vendors basically over there. In sports, you have that experience, you have that knowledge. You know how to handle a PR, you know how to handle an athlete, because you're coming from that background, you're studying that, so you know what are the things that you have to follow, which is a must. You need to have that knowledge to have that hold on a sports. And if you've done a sports event, then I'm damn sure you can do any event in your life, because sports event is the most difficult to handle because of the number of people coming to attend it, especially that. Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is Brinij wants to know your take on sports media.
Oh God. I mean, that is something I haven't, explored. And it's not that I want to explore it, also, to be very honest. And it's not because I have anything against it. It's just that, sports media is very vast. It can be your normal sports media, as to what Akash Chopra, Jatin Sapru, and Mehndi Langar are doing as, commentators or star sports journalists. Like, I'm closely working with them, and I see what they do day in, day out, how hectic their schedule is. And it's very, very difficult. And on top of that, if you go and check, Akash and Jatin have their own YouTube channel also. So, I mean, managing that, doing sports media also are very, very different things. And in comment, what you have to do is you have to have that grip, that hold on your language, that knowledge, because when you're speaking, it's a live commentary, right? It's not a recorded commentary कि okay मैंने match देखा, मैंने record किया, मैंने बोल दिया. No, it's not like that. It's too much work, too much efforts. And then media journalism also plays an aspect. So like, you can go into journalism, you can go into content, creative content. That's another aspect that you can probably go into. Apart from that, social media and digital media is also there, which, I mean, I personally feel everyone is doing it right now. It's a trend, and all thanks to COVID, because everybody got so accustomed to social media that now everybody knows how to make a reel, everybody knows how to handle, and especially a lot of people became influencers. To name them, I mean, these were people who knew how to gauge that audience, how to keep track of their followers, how to increase the followers, etc., etc., and what are the ASCII guidelines and all that. So, according to me, I mean, sports media is a very, very vast field, very vast industry. You have to pick and choose which one you want to go forward with. But then again, you have to be very sure about your 5 year perspective, because when I started with sponsorship, I was like, ठीक है एक साल करके देखते हैं फिर switch कर देंगे. I mean, I started with that perspective, and I was like, it was wrong on my part, because मुझे मजा आने लगा. I was like, no man, it has a long term growth. काफी मजा आता है, deals close होती है, मजा आता है, एक kick मिलती है. So I mean, if you're finding that for yourself, then of course go for it. Why not? It's a very broad, and within media you can switch different fields. So I mean, just try for yourself. Like within sponsorship, I have switched from one field to another. So I mean, try for yourself. बाकी प्रॉपर लॉजिकल के लिए तो यू हैव टू रीड बुक्स. आई एम नॉट द राइट पर्सन टू गिव यू ज्ञान ऑन स्पोर्ट्स मीडिया.
Okay, so Kiran had a similar question about journalism and media. So I think that has been answered. Okay, so I had another question for you.
Sure.
So, could you tell us more about your, job role as a business development manager? What exactly business development is in a sports management company?
So whoever is interested in sponsorship, sales, advertising, marketing, I mean, this is for you guys. So, business development, according to me, is nothing but, generating business for where you are right now. So, right now, I'm at Dharma Cornerstone. We manage talents exclusively, not just from sports, but after collaborating with Dharma, we are doing it from the entertainment side, music side, esports side as well. So, I mean, I work completely from a brand side where I need to showcase and show how the brand can, profit even while investing his money. Because my work is that I need to show them a vision that, okay, this is what we do, this is what our talents are, this is what is coming up, etc., etc. We have our own IPs as well. So, I mean, we just have to showcase, we have to just show them the vision that, okay, you are here, you need to create this kind of impact in the market. This is the gap that I'm bridging for you, this is what you can do, and that's how your business will be developing. So this is, I mean, it's very simple. You just have to reach out to as many brands as possible. You just have to see what their trends has been in the market. For me, I have to actually sit down, do my R&D towards the night. Okay, this brand is doing that, another startup is entering into the field, this is happening, that is happening, this is a market trend that is going on, and accordingly I have to tap into that particular brand, see where it can fit. I mean, just because I have a Virat Kohli, I can't just go to everyone or anyone that, okay, just do some, let's do something. It's not like that. It's how you position it, how you have to, bring that idea into yourself to generate business out of a brand. So that is something you will learn with one or two deal. That is not a book knowledge. That is not something that, you can learn in theory. The things you can learn in theory is your R&D about that particular brand, what are the market research. But when you're out there, you go for a meeting, you interact with a brand manager or a CEO or a CM or a marketing manager, you get to know what their vision is. You tell them how we can help them integrate their vision and how we can develop their vision. So that's what business development is all about.
So as you talked about that, you work at, it was first just Cornerstone, now it's the Dharma Cornerstone Agency. So it has restructured. So like, could you help us in, telling what the process and changes the organization went through, because you were there. So what was
I
the
mean, I
process?
joined after it became Dharma Cornerstone, to be very honest. I think in 2020 and December, these guys collaborated, and 2021, the announcement came. And I joined last year itself. So, I mean, see, to be very honest, I was coming from a vision that मेरे को सिर्फ sports करना है, because I have done my masters in sports. Then I worked with ITW over there also in sports. And over here, I was like, I'll just do sports. But when I came here, they showed me the entire vision and the picture that, of course, sports is one thing, but we have other aspects also. We have esports, which of course is another part of Cornerstone. Then we have our IPs in terms of Indian Cricket Awards, Indian sports heroes, and stuff like that. And then, I mean, once you collaborate, right? Dharma being one agency, Cornerstone being one agency, joining hands together, you have to take care of Dharma's business as well. So whoever they are signing, whatever these guys are doing, whichever movie or in song integration, whatever is coming up, we have to take care of that as well. So for me personally, the first 4 to 5 months, I was lost. Because sports तो किया है, उसकी तो knowledge है, but entertainment I have never done it. How to handle the celebrities, how to take them forward, how to actually take care of all these aspects. It was very, very, very difficult. But I mean, you learn, you tag along with people, you work around with different departments, be it the agents, be it the managers, be it the marketing team who tell you, be it their social media team, that what are the do's and don'ts and all. So entertainment is very different from sports, but in the end, I mean, if you get the knowledge, if you gauge what you're doing, because I knew what I'm doing in sports. And that is what helped me in entertainment also, because I knew what I was doing in sports. You just have to do a similar thing. It's just a different category or a ball game altogether. यहाँ पे we were handling the sports people, where you get मुश्किल से 10 or 15 dates out of the 365 days to shoot with them, because they're touring, they're playing. Similarly, with an actor or actress, okay, if 2 months their calendar is blocked for shooting, accordingly, you have to do your deal with the brand or handle the brand that, okay, boss, for 2 months they're shooting for a film. After that, we'll see what to do. So, I mean, it was very difficult. I'm not gonna, it's still difficult for me. If you ask me to choose, I'm gonna choose sports, I mean, any day. But of course, it looks all glittery and gold, but you have to work a lot. You have to keep up not just with the sports trends, but with the Bollywood trends also. What is happening, who's getting which film, who's dating who, etc., etc., etc. So I mean, there are a lot of things that you have to keep in mind. I mean, there are 10,000 Excel sheets that I had to close before I started this, because so many things are going on and everybody's going on a Christmas break, New Year break. So I mean, it's a lot, but it's fun. It's just you should have that innate capacity in you to learn, to know कि अच्छा ठीक है ये सीखना है, so इसमें आगे बढ़ना है. So yeah, that's that.
So so you were part of Junoon, and as the you were the head of department that was sponsorship and strategic alliance. So could you tell us more about what you did in Junoon, because that was the last Junoon before pandemic happened. So we would
Yeah.
like to. I would like to know personally more about what was your role in Junoon, and how was it? How
Should
were
I
you
tell
part of the
minus
big
the
success?
fights or including the? I mean, minus the fights or including the fights?
I mean, I would like to know, including the fights, but these guys wouldn't understand. But sure, whatever you want.
Yeah. So I think Junoon is it's I mean the word in itself has a very heavy meaning, because when I heard of Junoon, I honestly applied for the PR and social media position. I was like कि ठीक है, we'll do PR, we'll do social, we'll do campaigns, मतलब sort हो जाएगा, classes भी attend कर लेंगे and all that. But when I gave the interview, the third year, I was in first year masters, the third year bachelor's people were taking the interview, who were the president and VPs at that time, and they were like, "Why are you not doing marketing and all that? You should do marketing and sponsorship and partnership." And I was like, "If you don't have anyone, of course I don't mind. I mean, I can try and stuff. That's not a problem." That is when my journey started, and my mentor Palash, who was my VP at that time, we worked very closely. He was with me in ITW also. So I mean, he was my VP and he taught me things which even I wasn't aware about, like how to gauge data. We used to think कि बस Google कर लो मिल जाएगा data. We actually used to go for drop-ins. We created our own team as so I had a co-head as well. So we created our own team of 6 to 10 people. We divided that two guys go to Lokhandwala, two guys go to Bandra, two guys go to, Andheri, etc., etc. Go for drop-ins, go to all the brands that you see on the road. Just start walking, because if you see from ISM, if you walk towards Sakinaka, there's so many brands that are there, which you just see on your, which you don't even see honestly. I mean, being a brand person, even if I'm watching a movie, yesterday I was watching a movie with my friend and I was like, see Zomato integration. So, I mean, that's how, we are now like, okay, wherever we are going, we're just looking at brands, nothing else. Even if I'm watching Premier League, anything, I'm just looking at brands. Acha, okay, this brand is active, that brand is active. So we used to go for drop-ins. We used to collect business cards that, give us the brand manager's number or whoever the area manager is. We used to come back, we used to create a proper Excel sheet for ourselves. Then next day we used to do a calling activity. We used to cold call them, we used to email them, we used to just flood like everything, their email, calling, stalking them on LinkedIn, everything we used to do. And we used to get meetings, then we used to go for meetings, introduce our college, what we do, why are we here, what is Junoon all about, and all that. Tell them that we used to make them feel what Junoon is. It's not just a sports management festival. It's empowering people like us to, be out there, because we used to treat it, me and Palash used to think that it's a startup for us. Junoon is our startup, it's a baby. We just have to raise it. We just have to get the funds for it. We just have to make it rolling. And then, of course, we cried also when it ended, because we were like, okay, up kya? So, I mean, that's what it was, and it was very difficult. It was very difficult. I'm so thankful that it was before COVID that I had that opportunity, because those 4 months I had to, like, not just me, everyone had to struggle. We used to not attend classes, we used to get backlash from the professors, we used to get backlash at times, internally in different departments also, कि इवेंट वाले हमारे में क्यों घुस रहे हैं, और सिक्योरिटी ऑपरेशंस वाले हमारे में क्यों घुस रहे हैं, सोशल मीडिया कुछ कर क्यों नहीं रही है, फॉलोअर्स क्यों नहीं बढ़ रहे, registration वाली टीम क्यों नहीं करी, क्यों नहीं आ रही. So all this is a part and parcel of life, and we used to fight, but we used to work together, come together as a team, and we used to make it happen. ठीक है यार, हो गई लड़ाई, it's okay, let's move on. You want to make this happen, I want to make this happen. It was a struggle, because once the sponsor was on board, firstly it was very difficult to get a sponsor on board at that time as well. But once they were on board, I mean, I think we had 8 or 9 sponsors that we got, and taking care of their deliverables. I still have that Excel sheet with me somewhere in my drive, taking care of each and everyone's deliverable ki kaun se date ko kya karna hai, because we had different venues, different dates, and a different team to handle everything. So, I mean, instructing the events team that before the toss, we need to do that Red Bull activation thing. Before post match interview, we need to do this, we need to do that. So, keeping everything in mind, putting everything in action was a very big task. But if your team is helping you, if you're working as a team, then I think nothing like it, to be very honest. I mean, I would suggest please go for Junoon, do register yourselves.
So I have one last question before there are a lot of questions flooding right now. So
Yeah,
I
I
have one
can
last
see
question.
people raising their hands
Yeah.
also.
So my last question is that you have worked in obviously ITW and now you're working in Dharma Cornerstone. So you've worked in two of the best sports management companies that currently exist in India. So I just want to know what was the difference that you saw, or what are the similarities in both the organizations?
I would say similarity would be hunger, the hunger to get everything and anything in their kitty for both the organizations. And I think it's not just for them, it's for everyone that are out there. But having worked with these two, I know, I mean, hunger and expanding. Day in, day out, we're expanding our team also at DCA. I mean, there was not a Delhi team earlier, but now there's a Delhi team. Like I work out of Delhi, so there's a Delhi team now. We have a team in the West, we have a team in the South. So, and ITW had a team everywhere. I mean, beat everywhere. So the experience was different, but same at the same time. I'll tell you the reason why, because when I joined ITW, I had no clue what these guys do. Honestly, I had for 1 month, I was like, अच्छा ठीक है सिर्फ cold calling करनी है जो हमने जुनून में भी करी थी हम कर लेंगे. Calling 60-70 brands on a daily basis, and I joined as an intern, and we had to prove ourselves. That time I think India England was happening at Ahmedabad Motera Stadium, and that was the first match that was happening, post COVID in India. So they were like, you just have to sell the on ground properties and stuff like that. And I used to do everything on a daily basis. That okay, aaj calls ho gayi, let me, after office I used to research the next 60 brands I'm going to call the next day. So as an intern, I was like doing everything I can because I had to prove myself to get that job. So I did that, and we luckily closed the deal, and that's when I was entered into the system. Initially they were giving me limited information to see what my potential is and all, but I used to ask a lot of questions. Why are we not doing this? Why are we not doing that? Then came IPL, then came, so in IPL also, it's not just on ground branding or jersey branding. There is official digital partnership. There is Hotstar, where you can do your ads and stuff. There are a lot of things that you can do. Then again, India was touring. People were come. I mean, teams were coming to India for matches and stuff like that. And whenever India tour, we get like a free hand, because when India is going out, you can get main level of sponsors. Because when teams are coming to India, those are already blocked by Dream11, Paytm, and stuff like that. So that was a challenge we had, because once Dream11 is coming, no other competitor can come on board, right? So that's a challenge. That's a whole category block for us. So it used to be so difficult for us, and especially post COVID in 2021, we were still having that COVID waves, and people were getting vaccinated, but फिर भी हो रहा था चीजें. So it was very difficult. So it was all sports centric. All the properties we could acquire, we could sell, we could gain knowledge that okay, what is the trend that is going on. Now, for example, nobody will remember a strategic timeout, but everybody will remember a C8 strategic timeout, because that's how well it is placed. That it's a C8 strategic timeout in IPL. So that is how you have to have a vision. Even today, everybody knows it's a cycle pure agarbatti thing when it goes to the third umpire and stuff like that, because that is how well organized and how well planned that activation is. So of course, we used to do jerseys on ground, digital. We used to do athlete also. We used to do celebrities, influencers, everything. I mean, there was no stopping. You can do whatever you want. But of course, our main bread and butter was cricket, and it still is. So that is what I did. And then when I switched, it was a massive switch, because from this, it was a switch to talent. So I did my sales in properties, in sports properties, and in sports events. Now I had to do talent sales, non managing, of course, talent sales. So selling a cricketer over here to a brand, why they should be a brand ambassador or why you should take them for a digital opportunity. That was a very big task because over here you have a property where they're getting TV, they're getting digital, they're getting social, they're getting bites from the players. Over here, it's just one talent, and you have to revolve your mind around that okay, how should I sell that? Because I mean, of course, they will have their own USPs, but comparatively, it was very difficult for me also. But I think with time, I learned how to, sell a talent, also how to do deals, how endorsement is different from a digital deal, how a one-off campaign is very difficult from a 3 to 6 month long digital campaign. So all these things were there that we had to keep in mind. Then these guys also have their own IPs that you have to keep in mind and sell. Then entertainment also comes up, how different it is for an entertainment celebrity in terms of legal work, finance work, as compared to a sports person. So you learn so many things. I learned how finance works, how legal. Without legal finance, you can't do any association, you can't do any deal. You get to learn so many things from very different departments. You get to learn about what to pick and choose for a brand, because once you work with a brand, you know what he wants, what she wants in the future. This is what they're planning to do. This is what, if for example a brand wants to do just logo slapping, you have to just sell them a property जहां पर सिर्फ उनका logo दिखे, and that's it. If a brand wants to create an impact, do a brand activation, accordingly you will make something on those lines, like ZPL, how did Zomato Premier League, stuff like that. So that is something you have to gauge and accordingly go ahead with that.
Thank you. So I see Nitin has raised his hand. So Nitin, you can go ahead with your question.
Hi Pallavi.
Hi.
Ac- yeah, actually, I wanted to connect to you. Like, how can I like connect to you? Like, I also tried to connect to Cornerstone as well, but could not.
Okay.
Like, their number is not reachable.
I think on LinkedIn, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Okay. Any other way or no?
I think LinkedIn would be a better way to reach out.
Okay.
Or you can
Your
ask my email ID to college and reach out.
actually, I'm not part of your college right now.
Okay, okay. I think I'll put my LinkedIn link. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, sure. Can you please put that out?
Yeah, sure, sure. I'll do that towards the end.
Okay. Thank you.
No worries.
I see Sakshi has also raised a hand. So Sakshi, you can go ahead with your question.
Hi Pallavi.
Hello.
Actually, I am a CA student right now, and I just wanted to ask what aspect will be beneficial for me, and like, should I do marketing or just sports management? I'm just confused, like, what field to choose. So, can you guide me?
Do you have any interest in sports, firstly?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I was a player actually. I used to play, but then I left.
Hmm. See, if you
Yeah.
have interest in sports, then of course go forward with sports management. But what category and what field you should choose, I am not the right person. Neither are your parents nor your friends. It's you who will have to choose for yourself, because you will come to this. I came to this college with the mindset ki okay, I will manage an IPL team. I will get into their hospitality and operations. But the world turned for me 360 when I did my first college fest, Junoon. And at ISM, I realized that, okay, just talent management or team management are not the two things that you have to go into. There are so many things that you can go into if you want to pursue. I mean, we learn so many things. We learn about sports law at college, we learn about media, we learn about how things function. So for you to understand, you need to first see what are the things that you can go into in sports. Firstly, you need to know what are the departments, what are the different fields. Within that field, you have to choose for yourselves, okay, these are my top three. Do internships, honestly. I mean, just don't just blindly follow someone or just pick and choose that, oh, this person is doing so well, this person has worked here, there, let's just follow the same route. No, I mean, in sports,
Yeah.
interest is very important, because I have seen people losing interest in sports because they're not getting the right kind of money, or they're not getting the right kind of job or the kick that they need in that job, and they're changing fields. But
Mhm.
I've seen people who are coming from different, being an engineer, like so many people were engineer in my batch, and they just, and I was like, तुम्हारे पास तो jobs है, तुम क्यों आ रहे हो? But वो भी आए because
Mhm.
of their passion, they want to follow it no
Yeah.
matter. I have seen my friends work, they're working at Decathlon and they're very happy doing what they're doing right now. So no field is small, no job is small or big. It just has to be in your heart what you want to do and what you want to follow, what your passion is, to be very honest. So just
Oh,
see what are the fields and do internships in multiple of them and see that okay, this is something I can do long term. This is the most enjoyable internship I've ever had. And then in that field, do your R&D, that what are the agencies or what are the companies offering you a job in that field. Go reach out to their HRs, try, introduce yourself, network yourself very well, market yourself really well, that you will get, what you're looking for. But if you have an interest in sports, nothing is going to stop you.
okay. Thank you so much. That was really helpful.
Okay, so there's another question for you in the chat box saying, you know, can you shed some light on sports operation? Like, how is it taught? Do you have any experience in sports operations? Because you've done Junoon, so I'm sure you have some experience in operations. But if you could elaborate on that.
See, to be very honest, I will give you a reality check, guys. Sports operation, it looks easy. कि वो चलो इंटर्नशिप आई है कॉलेज से, चले जाते हैं, मैच देखने को मिलेगा. मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल हैव दिस इन माइंड कि चले जाते हैं, मैच देखने को मिलेगा एंड दोस्तों को भी टिकट्स दिला देंगे, ये कर देंगे. इट्स द मोस्ट tedious and the most difficult job you will ever find, because firstly you need that stamina, that strength to walk around the entire stadium, to run here and there, to look for the things that you're given. Secondly, you need to have that patience within you. It's I mean, even the air hostesses don't have to keep the that amount of patience as much as someone in the operations field have to, because you have to manage an event and you have to, I mean, do so many things. I remember in Junoon, after my thing was done, after getting sponsors, and after the every department was doing operations. Nobody was doing their own role, apart from security, of course, but that is also part of operation. Everyone was doing operation, from an MC to the person who was handling the speakers, from the person who was running for water bottles, from the person who was handling the hospitality of the players, for the person who were, at the registration desk. So operation is a very tedious job. You have to know what kind of operation you want to do, because okay, आज हम मैच देखने चले गए, आईएसएम से इंटर्नशिप आया, बट वहां जाके क्या, मेक योर कनेक्शंस. Operations is not just running on the field and making sure boards are there at a very good. You need to get in touch with the production, the broadcasting people over there, because tomorrow if you want to sit on top of there where people are taking care of the monitors and stuff like that, doing the analytics, if you want to be the head of that particular venue, that particular stand, you have to network yourself over there as well. So I mean, operations is a very big field, it's a very huge field, but you need to have that strength, stamina and patience within you, because you have to do a lot of work. It goes, the match is tomorrow, your work starts 2 days prior. You have to go to the stadium, check everything, how is everything, if is everything in control. MC has to check everything if that's in control, because they have to sync it. It's a live match, it's not a recording. So I mean, you need to, it's nothing, you can't learn it from a book. I'm sorry, you cannot learn operations from a definition. You have to be out there in the open. You have to understand that, from one venue to the other venue, what is happening. And I'm sure ISM provides the most number of opportunity in operations itself. You have to grab that opportunity. You have to see for yourself, be it Khelo, Khelo India, be it an IPL team operations, hospitality, be it anything. I mean, ISM gives most amount of operations internship. I feel left out that I haven't grabbed any of that opportunity when I was there in college. I mean, I did Junoon and I was sitting कि मेरा हो गया इस साल का. So I mean that was wrong, of course. I feel that मेरे को भी एक बार कर लेना चाहिए था, उस टाइम देख लेना चाहिए था that how is that feel, being a part of a tour or being a part of an IPL match, doing the operations for that. So I mean, grab those opportunities and just see for yourself, because so मेरे फ्रेंड्स दे यूज्ड टू गो फॉर नॉर्मल मैचेस एंड उनका कहाँ से कहाँ कनेक्शन निकल जाता था, कहाँ उन्हें जॉब्स करने को मिल जाती थी, एंड यू यूज्ड टू फील वाओ, आई मीन व्हाई एम आई सिटिंग हियर, सो आई मीन गो फॉर इट.
We have the next question is, what to keep in mind to prepare ourselves before joining the sports industry. So this is a question from Prayukta. She just wants to
Okay.
know what are the different things she should prepare herself before getting into the industry.
यार प्रिपेयर योरसेल्फ तो कुछ भी नहीं होता है, बिकॉज मेरे को मैं आई वाजंट प्रिपेयर टू डू पॉल साइंस ऑनर्स, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट. आई वाजंट प्रिपेयर टू डू डिजिटल मार्केटिंग. इट वाज माय जर्नी, इट जस्ट केम अलोंग दैट चलो ठीक है, इंग्लिश ऑनर्स मिल रहा है, पॉल साइंस ऑनर्स मिल रहा है, लेट्स टेक पॉल साइंस ऑनर्स, वी कैन हैव अ फ्यूचर इन लॉ. दैट्स व्हाट आई थॉट एट दैट टाइम. बट वो मेरे को नहीं करना था. आई डोंट वांट टू रीड my entire life, to be very honest. Then I thought, chalo, let's do digital marketing. But that is when I thought, ki, no, man, this is not where my heart lies. And when I came across ISM's website and when I was researching about sports management in India at that time, back in 2019, that's when I realized that, what am I doing? Why am I not doing this? This is something I wanted to do my whole life. Because being a player, if you're not there on the field, you want to do something off the field. So that is what my mindset was, that is something what my intention was, and that is something what you know i I think motivated me to do it, ki chalo, as a player, if I'm not doing, because whenever Commonwealth Games and Olympics used to come, I was like ki मैं क्यों नहीं हूँ वहां, not as a player of course, but मैं किसी के कंटिजेंट में क्यों नहीं हूँ, या मैं क्यों नहीं हूँ ऑर्गेनाइजिंग टीम का पार्ट. One of my great friend Aditi, she works with iOS, and when she travels and I used to feel so proud that okay, I mean somebody is out there doing what I used to channel myself doing. But then I enjoyed what I found during Junoon, that okay, I am good at this. One thing is talent, one thing is passion, one thing is a dream. If you mix all these things in one thing, now you're going to enjoy it for the rest of your life. Not, I mean, of course there are days when I'm like कि नहीं काम करना है because it's too cold in Delhi, but there are times when I'm like कल जल्दी उठ के काम पे जाना है, कल परसों काम करना है. So I mean, you have to enjoy it. It has to be your passion, because in India people just think sports नहीं बोलते इंडिया में अभी भी, cricket, 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 cricket. So you have to go out there. I have seen friends who are doing so good in football. I mean, one of my friends, she was not in master, she was in PG. She's handling kabaddi players. She has her own agency right now, Diksha Chiller. You can look up, and she's doing so well. So I mean, you just have to follow your passion. You just have to see कि मुझे करना है ये, मुझे इसी में अपना बनाना है. If you have that vision within yourself, the reason I did not take event management, क्योंकि मुझे लगा 1 साल मजा आएगा, 2 साल मजा आएगा, उसके बाद क्या, what is my individual growth there? I mean, होगी, maybe मैंने कभी try नहीं किया, so I don't have that knowledge. But you have to try for yourself. There is no, you know, I can't just hold your finger and be like कि नहीं तुम sports management ही करो. तुम्हारे को करना है. If you feel like doing it, if you think that okay, this is something what I want to do, and within this is the thing that I want to hold on to and go forward with, go for it. I can give you 10 motivational speeches. College can tell you 10 things. Your parents can tell you 10 things. It has to come from within you. Because you, towards the end, you don't have to feel कि नहीं यार waste कर दिए मैंने अपने 2 साल. So I mean, you shouldn't feel that.
Okay, so here Mahendra Raj is asking that he's heard students from ISM have been for more than 15 to 20 marathon internships. So, because I am currently studying, I agree there have been a lot of marathon opportunities coming. I have a friend who works in um, there's a company called Sports Timing Solution. They time for marathons, and he's at marathons almost every
I think
Sunday. So
15 to 20 is a very small number, to be very honest. Because I remember there used to be so many marathons. I used to call up my friends ki, chalo, let's go Friday night. And they were like, no, we have a marathon. We have to go to Saturday. We have to go at 5 a.m. So we can't party tonight. And I was like, what is this यार, हर बार तुम लोग मैराथन ही कर रहे होते हो. तो they used to tell me तू भी ले, तू भी ले. I'm like, सुबह नहीं उठ सकती मैं 4-5 बजे. I'm sorry. But yes, of course, there have been so many marathons, and I'll tell you one thing. after marathon there is work. So Amitava sir has
Hmm.
his own research team, and they write paper, they create content, they get the data also. During the marathon there is an R&D team that goes there, because I remember I was part of one of his research work, and these guys used to take data, content creation, and bring that data, primary secondary data होता था, पूरा उसे merge करके reports बनी है हमारी, टाटा मुंबई मैराथन की रिपोर्ट्स बनी है. So there are a lot of and not just Tata Mumbai Marathon, there's so many marathons, and at times Decathlon is doing marathons that you can probably go and be a part of it. It's not necessary कि ISM को ही सब कुछ देना है यार, तुम्हें कितना देगा वो, उनके पास भी लिमिटेड ही आता है ना. Of course at times you have to go and make an opportunity for yourself, because there are 600 students, they can try to get 600 opportunities हर एकदम देख के, but कुछ लोग दो अपॉर्चुनिटीज, तीन तीन अपॉर्चुनिटीज भी ग्रैब जल्दी जल्दी कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज दे आर वेरी क्लियर कि उनको क्या करना है. व्हेन आई केम, आई वाज नॉट ग्रैबिंग. आफ्टर 1 month आई वाज लाइक आई वांट टू गो होम, मुझसे नहीं हो रहा है. बट दैट्स व्हेन, बिकॉज आई यूज्ड टू सी पीपल ग्रैबिंग सो मेनी अपॉर्चुनिटीज अराउंड मी, एंड आई वाज नॉट ग्रैबिंग एनी अपॉर्चुनिटी. और मुझे लग रहा था एक टाइम पे खत्म हो जाएगी, बट नहीं होती है खत्म. इट कीप्स ऑन कमिंग कमिंग, एंड यू हैव टू मतलब मेक योर ओन कंटैक्ट. तो आज एक मैराथन में गए, just try to speak to people, because I remember some of my friends went to one marathon that came through IISM, and then they went to some other marathon which did not, because they made a connection, and it was not even in Mumbai, it was somewhere in south. They were like हम घर जा रहे हैं, हम वो marathon attend कर कर आएंगे ना. I was like wow, I mean you never know, right, कि कहाँ से कहाँ मिल जाए. ISN can give you a platform, you have to build your own foundation on top of that. So that is what I'm saying, that make very good, take advantages, make use of this platform, make your connections, ask questions. I used to ask a lot of stupid silly questions, and I mean honestly I used to get answers also, so thank you to everyone. But yeah, I mean you need to ask the questions, be it right, be it wrong, because being new to this field, having less knowledge, you need to ask the people who are experienced the kind of questions that you want answers for.
So we have one more question. What are the opportunities in sports production?
Sports production. I think I just a while back I told you guys that broadcasting is there, then being a commentator, be into the media field also. So there are a lot of things. I mean, personally, I'm not aware about so many opportunities, but having worked with Jatin, Mayanti, and Akash, I've seen that it's not just the normal work that they have to do. They have to create content. They have to be out there in the production and making that happen. There is an entire team behind that set also, that production set. So I mean there are people who have got opportunities at ISM for star sports, have gone to star sports. Many of them were working as the content creator for production teams, many of them were in the actual operations team, many of them were in the broadcasting segment. So I mean there are different things in production that you can do. Of course, I mean Google, whatever is, even at Khelo India, like when these guys went, a lot of my friends went, because at that time it was clashing with Junoon, and we had a lot of fights that you can't leave Junoon, you have to do Junoon. So when these guys, when they came back, they used to tell even putting a tape on the wire is called as production, because it is part of that production operation. So wiring that floor, putting a carpet, everything, because you need to make sure that nobody steps on that wire, that is also a part of production. So it's a very vast field. Production operations, they go hand in hand. You have to choose, you have to segregate within your mind what you want to do. You can do both also, yeah, you never know, you create your own field, you create your own niche. So there are different aspects. Just Google and talk to people, go on LinkedIn, see who is into production, engage with them, follow their journey, what they have been doing, and I mean you'll have your answers. You'll know if this is something you want to do or not.
Okay, so we have one last question, I guess. What are the different aspects to become a sports manager?
Sports manager, यार सच बताओ तो connections. I'll be very honest, जितना मैंने देखा है, you need to have connections, because I mean honestly, so I remember that some of my friends, They are there because they do have the connection. Some of them are there because they do have the talent. Now, earlier I was giving you Aditi's example. She did, slog herself. She did work so much before she went into iOS. She was doing smaller jobs. She was struggling so much. We went to the Himachal Pradesh Football Association thing. Then we were doing our different amounts of small internships. She changed her companies, and that's when she ended up into iOS. And over there also, ऐसा नहीं कि उसे plate पे मिल गया था that come manage peanut butter, come manage Davlina. No, she had to prove herself. She was given. She used to call me and she used to like, यार मैं ये क्या कर रही हूँ? Why am I doing data entry work? Why am I doing table job? But that is what made her realize कि these are the things you need once you go with, the proper athlete to their place. You need to have that knowledge. So these guys were filling her with that knowledge that she needed, and that's when she started becoming. So देर इज नो नथिंग, कोई तुक्का नहीं लग जाता कि तुम गलती से बन गए. या तो तुम्हारे कनेक्शंस बहुत स्ट्रांग होने चाहिए, या फिर यू हैव टू गो वर्क एट अ स्मॉलर लेवल एंड स्लोली स्लोली यू विल ग्रो. Because there are agents, there are managers, there are different kind of people who handle a particular athlete. It's not just one person. There is a team of 2 to 4 people who manage that person. For today, even today, if I want to go, if I have to do something with Shubman Gill, there are 2 3 people that I have to talk to in a different way, for an event, for a brand, for etc., different things. So I mean, you have to have that deal with it, you कि वहां जाने से पहले there are obstacles that you have to go through. ऐसे ही नहीं बन जाता कोई भी कि ओके कोई है तो बन जाए. Of course you can start slow. There are smaller people who don't have a manager. You can follow their Instagram, you can reach out to them. What I mean, the people that I'm talking about who are managing Jola Gutta's page, they did that. They started with smaller people. Now they're managing bade logo ka social media. So that's what you have to do. You need to start small and then you create a man. But if you have good connections or kahin se kahin mil jata hai, then take it.
Okay, so I think I have one more question that I saw. This is the last one, I promise. So, Mahindra Raj is asking, he wants to take up sports management because he wants to be a part of the Paris Olympics of 2024. So he wants to know if there is any chance he can get into, the Paris Olympics in his first year.
I don't know how to answer that question because I'm not giving that job, to be very honest. But I mean, you need to. I mean, I don't think so that you can't. I won't say that you can't. Of course, you can. You can do bigger and better things in your first year itself. But you need to make the right kind of connections. ऐसे नहीं आप बैठे हुए हो, okay, I'm just manifesting कि Paris Olympics आ जाएगा. नहीं, you have to work for it. You have to see who's the managing committee, what are the contingents that are going. You have to apply. So if you know, okay, XYZ contingent is going, see who's the managing agency, see which is the production house that you can get into, see whoever is going over there. So I mean, you have to get in touch with those kind of people. So for example, and not just that, you can also go to the brand side. Like for example, MPL did a lot during the Olympics, right? They did partnership with the Indian contingent. So there were people who were working with MPL who got an opportunity to go with, the contingent at that time also. So you have to see who's working, what is happening accordingly. Because I'm not the one giving away, that job to you. So I can't say if you can get it or not. You have to try. You have to see who is organizing what, which contingent is going. I mean, you need to reach out the athletics contingent, the hockey contingent, and you have to see if there is an opening, if there is someone that, if there is, because they have to take limited amount of people. It can't be just कि हम interns को ले जाएंगे या कुछ ले जाएंगे. You need, whenever it is happening, you need to start working right now for that. It's not that कि आपने बस एक application या एक email डाला और हो जाएगा. It's not like that. You have to work for it and gain that information. There's so many hands that are being raised. I can take that. It's okay. I have some time with me.
Okay, sure. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think Subhash has a question. So yeah,
yeah,
you can go ahead.
Yeah, firstly, good evening. My question is I had recently completed my undergraduation and I'm looking forward to join sports management in IISM. So I have this doubt that what might be the right choice for me to choose either it's masters or PGPSM. What will be the right course choice for me? Because I had gone through both of the courses, but I'm puzzled what to choose. That's it.
See, I mean, even I was there. Even I wanted to do PG, but honestly, at that time I was 19. No, I was not 19. I was 20, I think, huh? So 2021, and my parents were like that, why don't you take masters? Because they were thinking from that old school point of view ki bachelor's ke baad master's degree aayega, and you will have that thing within you whenever you're going out introducing, even if you want to plan to go outside, because I did have that vision ki mujhe bahar to ek baar jana hi hai, let's see, I mean, if that happens. So I mean, masters does work, but I'm not saying PG is something. If you're looking, if you time is not in your hand and if you want to do कि नहीं मुझे जल्दी करना है, because I was being impatient कि मुझे जल्दी करना है, मुझे एक साल में कोर्स खत्म करना है, अब मेरे को पढ़ाई वढ़ाई पसंद नहीं है, एक साल में दूंगी 2 एग्जाम्स खत्म. But if you plan, if you look at a longer perspective, longer vision, that no, masters is much more helpful, because of course PG will also give you the similar kind of courses, but it's just that the time limit matters. In those 2 years you can, because I was lost in my first year, it took me a lot to get myself, figure things out, and then the second year I could implement it and then I could grow. So of course it's totally your decision. Both the courses are nice from a short term perspective, from a long term perspective. If you're working, if you are working side by side, go for PG. If you just want to do it for the knowledge, or if you want to pursue it but you're not too sure and you want to try your hands, test the waters, then I would say go for PG. It has its own qualities, it has its own do's and stuff like that, advantages. But if you're looking from a longer perspective, longer point of view, then definitely go for masters, because it actually helps you, it shapes your personality. I still remember my first day in college. I used to sit in the front as a chupchap aakar, and towards the end I was one of the back benchers, shouting here and there, being a part of everything that was happening in college, even those small foosball events in college that we used to have, and being a part of everything. It's, there's too much to offer. So I mean, if you want to do everything, enhance your personality also, it's not just professionally but personally also, it enhances a lot of things. If had you been doing this interview, like this webinar few years ago, I would not be so that in my mind that I have to say this, I have to say nothing like that. So with time only you grow, and I think if you think you can make that long term commitment and you want to increase your knowledge, gauge your personality better, then go for masters. But if you feel like a short term course with the same amount of knowledge and courses that it is offering, then you can go for that. In fact, you can speak to someone, I think Nimisha or someone from the PG who's done PG from ISM. You can speak to them and ask them the advantages and do's and don'ts, so that you will have your pros and cons established for both masters and PG, and you can take a wiser decision.
Yes, yes, thank you. And adding to that, I just wanted to ask a small doubt.
Yeah.
In any kind of job, we will be required some prerequisites related to role. And coming to this marketing, digital marketing and sports analytics, what kind of skills will they look into a fresher?
So I'll tell you one thing, Subhash, right? So honestly, it's not a prerequisite that you have to do a role, because आप fresher होते हो, तो fresher के पास कोई prerequisite नहीं होता है. When I went to ITW, मेरा last role था 4 महीना जुनून में करना, which is not a proper job that I did. It was my fest that I did, right? My college's fest that I did. देयर वर पीपल जिन्होंने कुछ नहीं किया, बस अपनी मास्टर्स डिग्री या बैचलर्स डिग्री तक करके आए हैं एंड जो आईटीडब्ल्यू में बैठे हैं, बिकॉज कंपनीज लाइक दीज, आईटीडब्ल्यू हो गया, टीसीएम हो गया, एंड फॉर दैट मैटर इवन रिलायंस हो गया, या फिर जो आईपीएल के आपको ऑप्शंस आते हैं ऑपरेशंस और हॉस्पिटैलिटी के लिए, दे डोंट आस्क फॉर अ प्री रिक्विजिट. They hire fresher because they want to train them, they want to see where it goes, and you never know, you get a call that okay, join us full time. There were people, I remember people who were getting jobs when we were in our second year. Imagine, I got a job when I was in my second year. I did not give my fourth sem exam, and I had to roam around all the teachers that please give me attendance because I'm working now. So I mean, of course you, it's not that कि आपको skills होनी चाहिए, आपको knowledge होनी चाहिए, आपको interest होना चाहिए, and आपको सीखने की capability होनी चाहिए. That is the first part of your question. Second, analytics. So one of my very close friend Tane, he's doing analytics, and I mean, I think he's from the engineer background. So, yes, he did have that skills within him. But of course, to get into that proper analytics, you need to know certain things. You need to know certain softwares that are out there. And every agency uses different software, is what I have seen. So, SFA uses a different software. There are other agencies who use a different software. Sports Interactive uses a different software. Some of my friends work there. So, I mean, you need to learn and see ki kaun sa software they're using, and you in this field, yes, you should have definitely some amount of knowledge. Your stats should be good, maths skill should be good, some kind of knowledge you need to have in analytics as to what analytics is and what are the basic, like R is there, right, in our course, Shruti, that R which I think Nicole ma'am teaches. So like
Yes,
R
Nicole ma'am
is
is
something,
teaching us in this
yeah,
semester.
that
Our
is,
yeah.
yeah, that is used in stats and stuff like that. So these are the things that you need to polish for yourself. मेरा कभी interest नहीं था. मेरा होता तो I would have given you that knowledge, but you need to see कि क्या क्या लगता है. Speak to the teachers, speak to the people who are in this field. It's always about asking the right person the right question.
Okay,
So yeah,
thanks. Thank you.
no worries. We have more questions, yeah, Shruti. If you have time, I have time.
So I will want. If anybody has any questions, you can raise your hands because I'm looking at the chat box and yeah, Nitin, go ahead.
Yeah, Pallavi, that's a reminder. Can you please drop in your LinkedIn?
Yeah. I'll just do it. There are some questions about the pays and stuff that you get less. I've seen two, three questions. See,
I
I'll
think there was
tell
some.
you. Yeah, I'll just tell you honestly one thing, guys, that when you are starting, no, and I will say this for myself. When I started ना, मुझे भी था पैसा कमाना है, पैसा चाहिए, 5 साल में मैं इतनी अमीर हो जाऊंगी, I'll start my own business before 30, I want to retire. सबने ये जवानी है जवानी देखी है, सबने सारी ऐसी मूवीज देखी है जिसमें तुम्हें पैसा कमाना है and everything. We all have that Bollywood element, we all have that business mindset कि this is what we have to do. But आप ये सोचो, पैसा आप कमाओगे, आपके पास पूरी लाइफ है, यू हैव दैट एंटायर लाइफ. इवन व्हेन योर पेरेंट्स स्टार्टेड डूइंग देयर जॉब, इट वाजंट लाइक ओके वी विल गिव यू सैलरी ऑफ 1 lakh per month. It's not like that. It's not that easy. Sports management is a very niche field. It's a very small field with so many opportunities that you're not looking at. अगर तुम यही देखते रहोगे ना कि मुझे यही अपॉर्चुनिटी चाहिए, मुझे यही करना है, आई एम सॉरी, यू हैव टू ट्राई एंड टेस्ट योर वाटर्स. यू कैन जस्ट सिट लाइक कि फर्स्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल गई, ग्रैब करके बैठ जाओ, इसमें प्रमोशन लेता रहूंगा, इंक्रीमेंट लेता रहूंगा. नो, you're very young, this field is very vast. Do as many internships as you can, go for as many, and paisa hai, trust me bro, heavy salary, I'm telling you, paisa hai, पैसा बहुत है. जिधर आपको पता लगाना है कि आपको कहाँ कैसे किधर निकलना है. दैट इज समथिंग यू नीड टू गेज विच यू अंडरस्टैंड वंस यू आर आउट देयर. यहाँ बैठकर वी कैन हैव दिस कॉन्वर्जेशन, वी कैन डू डिबेट्स, यू कैन शेयर आर्टिकल्स कि इसको इतना नहीं मिलता, पैरिटी है, ये है, वो है. ठीक है, आई अंडरस्टैंड, है हर जगह पैरिटी है, इन एवरी डिपार्टमेंट देयर इज पैरिटी. व्हेन आई वाज डूइंग डिजिटल मार्केटिंग, आई यूज्ड टू अर्न वेरी लेस compared to what I'm earning right now. So I mean, of course there is parity, but अब इस माइंडसेट से मत आओ कि स्पोर्ट्स फील्ड में तो हम पैसा कमा लेंगे, हम आईपीएल के साथ काम करके पैसा. नो, आई एम सॉरी, you need to learn, you need to earn that position for yourself, you have to be there, and then you can earn the kind of money that you want, and it's a process. You have to be patient. There are multiple things you can do कि अपनी तुमने इतने से तुम्हारे वर्ल्ड में जो तुम कंपनी में स्टार्ट करे हो, वहां तुमने अपॉर्चुनिटी क्रिएट करके बना लिया, और यू जंप एजेंसीज and take those hikes and sit there somewhere in the next 2-3 years. So I mean, you have to gauge, create an opportunity for yourself. First year, second year, third year, first 3 years of working in sports management, please don't keep money as the most this factor. There are people I've seen who started, I mean, Aditi have started with a very less salary, I have started with a very less amount. I've started with 7,000 as an intern, to be very honest, and today I'm at a very good salary. So just इट्स अ प्रोसेस, आपको एकदम से नहीं मिल जाएगा, एंड सिर्फ स्पोर्ट्स में नहीं, किसी भी फील्ड में नहीं मिलेगा. सो प्लीज टेक दिस थिंग आउट ऑफ योर माइंड कि फर्स्ट ईयर में आप you'll get crorepati, lakhs of salaries and stuff. I mean, crorepati to nahi, of course, but lakhs of salaries and stuff like that. So yeah. Any other question, guys?
So there are some questions about, paid internships
I
and
mean, yeah,
everything.
there are few paid internships, but of course, and this is not ISM's fault or any other's fault. Companies think कि यार interns उठाने हैं, free labor कराना है. Companies का ये mindset होता है कि freshers बुलाओ, and सिर्फ sports में नहीं, कहीं भी चले जाओ, engineers को देख लो. It's a mindset like that कि free labor उठाना है हमको, तो ये करवाना है. But of course, there are places which give you money in turn, and I have seen opportunities from ISM where as an intern you're getting 10, 15, 20,000. So I mean there are opportunities which gives you money also, and I have done an internship where I wasn't given any money, but I was okay with it क्योंकि मुझे सीखने को बहुत कुछ मिला. अगर आप हर चीज पैसों की वजह से करोगे then I'm really sorry, आप सीख नहीं पाओगे. You will limit yourself, क्योंकि जब आपको कोई पैसा दे रहा होता है तो आपको वो वही सिखाएगा जो उसे करवाना है. जब आपको कोई नहीं दे रहा होगा ना, आप वो भी सीखोगे जो उनको नहीं करवाना, या जो खुद आपको भी नहीं करना, आपको उसकी नॉलेज मिलेगी. सो आई मीन इंटर्नशिप्स के टाइम पे तो सोचो ही मत पैसों का. आई बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, करो, एक्सपीरियंस करो, जस्ट गो देयर, अंडरस्टैंड, लर्न, get to know people. Go with your friends also, it's an experience. We used to tell each other that मैंने register किया, तू भी कर ले, चलते हैं 2 दिन के लिए. So I mean, honestly, Shruti, that's what we do, right? Ki let's go.
Yes.
I mean, group of friends went for Tata Mumbai Marathon, and I used to meet them, towards the night for dinner. And they used to talk about, they used to, say so many things about the event, and I used to feel left out. Then why am I not going? So, I mean, of course, you guys should do such things. Yeah, don't run after money; it'll come. Don't worry. बाकी घर
I
वाले
mean,
तो दे ही देते हैं, so chill.
I remember even my first internship. Usually, in your first year, you get just unpaid internships. You don't get paid in your first year. And I was from the unluckiest batch ever. I started in 2020.
Oh shit.
So we didn't have any internships for the first year. So yeah, it's all about learning. And when you just
Wow.
start, you cannot look at the money at all. So I think Greenwich wants to talk about. He wants to know that, do we have permanent jobs in sports industry? Because if anybody is working in IPL, they will work for 2 months. So what about like the 10 months? So he wants to know more about freelancing.
Yeah, see, freelancing is something that me and Palash have also tried at some point of time. Why I'm bringing his name up is because he did work with Rajasthan Royals, and that I think that opportunity came through ISM. I'm not sure if it was through ISM or not, but we do get opportunity for Rajasthan Royals through ISM. And he worked with Rajasthan Royals, and his bond got so strong that whenever now Rajasthan Royals is doing IPL, they contact him. Whenever they're Barbados Royals, they have a franchise in Caribbean Premier League. Whenever they are going there, they contact them. And I tell you honestly one thing, ऐसा नहीं है कि 2 महीने काम है. I'm sorry, कम से कम 5 महीने 6 महीने काम है, because IPL starts in towards the end of March, beginning of April, and we start working for sponsors from October itself. I used to like I have started working since October. So October, November, December, January, Feb, 4 months. March the team starts coming up. March में आपका पूरा production होता है. You start filming things, start shooting for ads. Then April, May, June आपका पूरा IPL में निकल जाता है. You are a part of that. So it's good amount of 8-9 months. Then people go for their vacations. You also get 1 month का, but you feel कि you are getting. No, you're not getting, क्योंकि उसके बाद का जो आपको इस सीजन का पूरा वाइंड अप करना है, पूरा सब कुछ करना है, दैट इज ऑल्सो देयर. कि आपको पूरा वो वर्ड ऑफ थैंक्स, एंड दिस इज आई एम टेलिंग यू फ्रॉम अ स्पॉन्सरशिप ब्रांड पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, कि व्हाट ऑल इज देयर, वो सब आपको करना है. एंड आफ्टर दैट you have to say कि अच्छा ठीक है, you take a break. जून हो गया, जुलाई में आपने ब्रेक लिया, फिर से अगस्त आ गया, वेयर यू हैव टू स्टार्ट थिंकिंग कि व्हाट विल बी आवर नेक्स्ट ईयर स्ट्रैटेजी, बिकॉज आईपीएल तो हर साल हो रहा है. एंड इट्स नॉट जस्ट दैट, देयर आर डिफरेंट, जैसे नाउ केकेआर हैज अ टीम कॉल्ड टीकेआर इन सीपीएल, Rajasthan Royals have a team in CPL, and I think one more team is entering. No, I forgot the name. One of the other IPL team is also entering, and there are other leagues that they are a part of. There are so many things that they do in Rajasthan Royals. They have their own courses also. So I mean, there are different and you can be a part of different aspects. So you just have to ask once you start interning there ki what is the future, because there is a core team of every IPL. There is a core team, like Delhi Capitals is with JSW, so they have their own core team. So similarly like that, everybody has their own core team and accordingly it functions. तो सिर्फ 2 महीने का नहीं होता है काम, 2 महीने का वो काम होता है जो एज एन इंटर्न आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी आती है ड्यूरिंग द आईपीएल मैच, बिकॉज दैट्स व्हेन दे नीड द स्टाफ. जो आप मेन टीम और कोर टीम में जब जाओगे 2 महीने नहीं होगा, बहुत काम होता है आईपीएल में.
Thank you so much, Pallavi. I'm sure that a lot of
Always.
people, their queries have been solved, even mine. Uh, yeah, Nitin, do you have a question? I think you got your LinkedIn link.
Yeah, not a question, but hi Pallavi, if you can please, I have sent you a request from Nitin Singh's name.
Yeah, I will after this. I will check it out, don't worry.
Thanks a lot.
Very, very impatient.
Not
Yeah, so
patient
thank you
like.
so much.
Don't worry, I'll accept it, don't worry. Thanks, Shruti. It was really good interacting with you guys. I feel like very honored right now talking about so many things because we used to listen earlier. So, I mean, even I am shocked that I have so much knowledge. So, I mean, it was great interacting with you guys. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Pallavi, and I'm hoping that all the queries have been solved, and I hope to see some of them next year in college, even though I won't be there. So yeah, so I would like to conclude. I would like to conclude by saying that ISM is a platform where you have to make your own foundation. So if you have any queries, you can contact the ISM team. The information has been put in the chat box, and our counselors will get in touch with you. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks,
Yeah.
everyone. Bye. Take care. Bye, Shruti.